We are live. Welcome to my video. This is going to be my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1, 30 Days Without an Accident. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be? Like all other videos I've done on the show, yeah, absolutely loved this episode. There will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it. Let us dive right in. So yeah, yet another, they're 4-4, yet another really solid season opener. Yeah, I really appreciate how with each of these, like, clearly some things have changed since the last time we saw, yeah, seasons 2, 3, and 4. Excuse me, something has changed since the last time we saw the survivors. And yeah, excuse me, the idea of Rick farming, needing a wider ass and maybe a what what are those called? Yeah, in the mouth, as Herschel points out. And the group has expanded. They are actually now more open to people joining. There's just the 3 questions. Which, yeah, I mean, Season 3, it became quite clear, like, it's not a good idea to send people away that are willing to, to join and are good people and such, If they had not, if Rick had been dealing with his grief better and had not sent away, the group that then later joined the governor, it wouldn't have gone down like that. And let's see, the thing about, no, you're not coming with because you were up all night reading comics by flashlight. So yeah, you can take, the teen boy out of modern society, but you cannot take modern society out of the teen boy. That is, yeah, I would definitely have read comics even if there were a zombie apocalypse during my teen years. Let's see, yeah, I like the bit about naming, you shouldn't name Violet. Ah, crap, now I'm doing it. She's food, not friend. And the fact that, by the end, still ill. Yeah. Let's see, but yeah, the other naming thing, the other young, at least one of them is an actual child, but some of them are, like, teenagers, I think. But yeah, Carl catches them naming the walkers, and yeah, he points out they're not human, they're not pets, you shouldn't name them. And it's one of those things of, like, yeah, we teach children how to cross the street safely. You cannot watch your kid every single second, short of some kind of Big Brother, surveillance state, or I don't know, telepathy, I guess, so yeah, you gotta teach them how to be around certain situations. And yeah, like, it's not a good thing if they're thinking of the walkers as just this fun, at one point they're, like, waving at the walkers, and it's like, dude, this is not, yeah. I did appreciate, like, the one girl saying, like, no, I have seen someone killed by a walker, let's see, and, not an awful lot else to say about them, but yeah, the bit with the reading, which I do, I agree with reading Tom Sawyer to kids should hear. I appreciate that by now it's problematic. There are aspects of it that, but I'm gonna get his name real quick because it is right yeah, Mark Twain was a goddamn literary genius. I will not entertain the notion that he was not. And yeah, there's a lot you can learn from that story that is still relevant today. Yeah, I think it's good to introduce kids to criticism of capitalism. You know, the sooner you get them to question it, the greater the chance that we can build a better system. And yeah, Tom Sawyer not only getting others to do something that he doesn't want to do, but you know, there's a sense that you know, it should be done. Not only getting other kids to do it for him, but getting them to think that he's doing them a favor and they should really, like, reward him for it. Like, I'm sorry, Mark Twain was a real one. Now, I think that, yeah, genuinely clever. Yeah, Carol, you know, as soon, she reads some from that and then puts it away. So, knives, and I love that, like, at least one of their faces, like, knives, you know, like, you may want to keep an eye on that one. Maybe don't leave them alone with a knife, just for a little while, because that's, yeah. Certainly, if they are going to be fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger in the climactic scene of the movie, do not give them a real knife. But yeah, and you know, Carol sees Carl, and yeah, like, please don't tell your dad, you know, because yeah, at this point, you know, Carol used to be somewhat more like somewhat innocent, maybe, like not like weak or naive or something, but you know, yeah, but yeah, by this point she doesn't really, she appreciates it is important to you know, get them ready for these kinds of things, you know. Yeah, with Rick, yeah, so, you know, Herschel talks to them. I appreciate the other thing about, you know, yeah, it is a democracy now. You know, they are, because earlier, you know, he felt that it shouldn't be, and now, you know, yeah, as long as they are having discussions, as long as the people making the final decisions are ones that can get along and think these things through, yeah, it can, you know, I get why Rick thought that it needed to be just him making these decisions on account of Shane. But yeah, yeah, you know, Herschel talking to him, you know, it was unanimous. You gotta shave. No, you know, they're like, please bring the gun, and that was also a great, you know, he's making the, you know, he's planting. Yeah, fuck. I forget what it's called, but he's dealing with the farm, you know, and he accidentally digs up a gun, and he, like, takes out the clip and like puts it away, because, like, yeah, you know, at this point he doesn't, yeah, he seems to be trying to not use it too much himself with guns. Like, he doesn't seem to have an issue with the others having guns, but yeah, you know, please bring the gun with you. And Rick is like, I just don't know. And then Herschel's like, maybe there's a zombie girl out there. And yeah, he meets up with, I'm gonna see if I can find the character name again. Clara. Yeah, I'm thinking. And yeah, always happy to see Carrie Condon pop up in something. Arts Cafe, your country has produced some amazing actors, and she is yet another one of them. Yeah, just the whole time we're hoping, please let this be, like, because she's clearly suffered, on account of the zombie apocalypse, and we just want it to work out, you know. And you know, yeah, he hands the food, and yeah, it's the same, you know, can you help me get the, you know, this animal back to Eddie? And it's like, I mean, in a word, no. Like, it would take more than just the two of us to get a dead animal of that size, that weight, you know, more than a very short distance. And yeah, just along the way, the thing, you know, she's had to do things to survive. And you know, yeah, it's like the kinds of things that you actually have to do to survive, or like the kinds of things that some people, when it becomes the apocalypse, are like, yes, I mean, I'm sorry, but we're just gonna have to do this, you know. So just, yeah. And yeah, he gets all the way there, and is like, you know, where is Eddie? And she goes over and she talks to, you know, and it's like, okay, there's not an entire person there, clearly. And yeah, we just see a little bit of movement, and yeah, it's like a zombie head, I'm thinking, because I didn't look like there was enough room for the body. And she charges at him with the, you know, she's coming right for him. And the devastation of, like, you know, please let me become like Eddie. And just, ugh. And he seems like he does, yeah, he apparently does go along with it. And also, like, of all the places she stabs herself in the gut, like, I appreciate that it'll eventually kill her, but, like, fuck me, that is gonna take a long time. It's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. Just, yeah, of all the places, she does have a knife, you know, like, yeah. But yeah, it's just really, really devastating. And you know, as she's lying there starting to die, or she's like, what were the three questions? What is your favorite color? But yeah, I appreciate, you know, the three questions from the ghost phone. So very nicely done, and they are questions that make sense to keep using as, like, a test. I think that does cover... Yeah, I appreciate, you know, Herschel talking to Rick after, and, you know, yeah. And yeah, him saying, you know, I could have ended up like that. Not an awful lot to say about Patrick. I quite liked what we got, you know, just like, it would be an honor to shake your hand, you know, and Darrow's like, you know, and shakes his hand, just, yeah. And yeah, you know, Carol's like, I liked you first. If you're gonna do this kind of thing, you gotta get used to being liked. And the, yeah, you know, he says he doesn't want to yak on anyone during the reading, which I thought they played that just right, because, like, she gets out knives, and then he says, I think I'm gonna be sick. So, like, we're not sure. Like, later, it's, no, he was actually sick, you know, there's some kind of, yeah. But at the time, it's like, is it because he, like, sees the knives and he's picturing, like, using a knife on one of the walkers, maybe? Because you can understand why that might be upsetting. But yeah, the ending with, oh god, yeah, yeah, you know, sweating a lot. I really appreciate the shot of him leaving these really sweaty footprints, you know. Good night, sweaty, and he collapses, and just, yeah. That's, yeah. That, I think, does pretty much... Right, got a little bit to say about Michonne, and after that, it is basically the run into the, yeah. Right, I'll just briefly say so I don't forget. It was genuinely sad when, you know, yeah, she's like, well, Beth, yeah. Beth is like, I'm glad I didn't say goodbye. I hate goodbyes. I can't cry anymore, Daryl. I'm just glad I got to know him. And I do, you know, when she said she couldn't cry anymore, I'm like, oh, you know, poor, that's, yeah. But she did, yeah, following it up with, she's glad she got to know him. That is, yeah. And that was also, like, I did not expect Zach to die so soon, you know. Let's see, I think that does cover, Michonne, that was it. Yeah, her, you know, arriving, and, you know, she got some comic books. Though I want to read those as soon as you're done, you know. And yeah, she's leaving again soon, even though she just got back, and she's, you know, couldn't find him. And I think I have a pretty decent idea of who, you know, they're playing the pronoun game, but who him is. You know, she's going out there so she can finally find Santa Claus. No, it's got to be the governor, and yeah, 100% understand why she is determined to find him. Find him and destroy him. And yeah, that brings us to the run at what is apparently called Big Spit. Now, according to IMDb trivia, it's Big Spot, but I mean, it looks more like an I than an O. I guess it's the dot from the exclamation point. Anyway, yeah. Did exclamation point, has that ever been like stage direction, like exclamation point? Anyway, yeah. And Zach trying to guess, you know, you were a homicide detective, weren't you? And Michonne can't help but laugh, you know, and just and yeah, Daryl like, yeah, but I was undercover, so I don't like to talk about it. I knew it. Wait, are you just fucking with me? Just, yeah. Yeah, Bob, he's like the scene could so easily have felt like, you know, if this hadn't been a show about, you know, flawed people in general, him like accidentally, you know, fucking up with the wine bottle could so easily have felt like some kind of PSA for, you know, wine, not even one sip, you know, just, yeah. But yeah, clearly, like, he's an alcoholic recovering or something along those lines, and very nearly brings the bottle with and was going to hide it. But, you know, putting it back, I appreciate that it's actually him putting it back that fucks it up, because the shelf was not falling over shelf? Whatever the fuck they're called. It was not falling over before he placed it, you know. And also, you know, the camera goes up and we see the crashed helicopter, and yeah, you know, that could weaken the roof enough that they would start falling through. That scene did not have to go as hard. It, you know, like, as soon as we see, like, one or two drop, it's like, okay, it's now a minefield. Nowhere in there is safe. I really appreciate their, you know, balls to the wall. They really put time and effort into just, yeah. And I think it was the first one that's, like, hanging by its entrails, like, oh, fuck. Yeah. I think that does cover, yeah. The thing about, you know, she's not really pregnant. She didn't want it this time, but they could. And you have the thing with, you know, baby names and Glenn looking at that, just, yeah, really nicely done there. Yeah, I think that covers everything for this episode. yeah, I really felt like they did a good job making it clear, you know, it really is working. The community thing really is working for Rick and the other survivors. Right, and also the fact that, oh, they just keep coming. There's more walkers coming up to the fence, and they gotta take care of them. And you know, Tyrese, I think, you know, pointing out it just feels wrong to just be stabbing them just as they're standing there. You know, they're not able to hurt them, so, you know, the walkers can't hurt the survivors through the fence. So that was, yeah, right. And the boombox distraction was also quite clever. I think that might cover everything. Yeah. No, yeah, that is all of it. Yeah. Beth going up and taking off the 3, so now it's just 0 days without an, was an incident, accident, something like that, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to learning more about Patrick, you know. Yeah. Because, like, as far as I could tell, he basically turned into a walker without dying first. Which, like, yeah. Not only do the dead walk, the feeling sick, sweaty, to, you know, worried about yakking on someone also do. Right, and Michonne, you know, I really like that it was filmed in a way that did look like, yeah, just a walker there, I guess, you know, and then the camera shows, no, it's like a standee, you know, and yeah, I mean, Michonne will attack a human that's dangerous. She will attack, you know, an undead, whether they're, you know, flesh and blood or cardboard.